Welcome to another session with me in Learn with Your Coach. Let's get started. In our session today, I will help you and coach you about how we manage anger through time in three simple steps. Anger, if you have observed, is actually a feeling. I have given it a statement of a misunderstood emotion, and I'll tell you in a moment why I state that. What you see below is the meaning that I have derived from thesaurus, that anger is a strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, or hostility. But I call it a misunderstood emotion is because I've had plenty of experiences with my coaching clients who I had coached on this particular emotion. And a common thing that I had experienced is that people look at anger in always in a negative connotation, and it's not really considered to be good to be angry. People even state that, you know what, I get angry too often. Is something really wrong with me? And a lot of other concepts and misconceptions about this particular emotion. This is a fact that it's not really easy to regulate this particular emotion because it takes a lot of maturity to be angry with the right set of people at the right set of time and in a right way and right manner. I mean, that really requires experience and maturity. But at the same time, to be angry or to get angry is not that as bad as people think it to be. Therefore, I said it's a misunderstood emotion. Let's understand anger a little bit. So, before we get to learn how we really manage this, why not spend a bit of time to understand this particular emotion? If you see here on your screen, anger, I have stated it right up here on the top. Because anger is one emotion which is way deep, even though most emotions are, but anger has its own depth. And before we even really learn to manage it, I think the first thing we need to understand it. And here, what I've just written are some statements. Basically, these are common reasons why people get angry more often and most of the time. And this I have derived not from any research work, but with my own experiences while I had coached clients. And the common theme that I've found is where there are frustrations piled up from the past. There are some unmet needs one holds. There is an emotional baggage, we are carrying it from our past. There's a sense of fear and insecurity. There's a belief system we've been told in our growing years how we then tend to defend ourselves through showcase of anger. And there is a deep, dire need to feel accepted and belong. And when that unmet needs prop up, where our emotional needs are not totally fulfilled, where we feel abandoned, we feel lonely, and there's a sense of fear and insecurity. All of these actually is a complex mix where we burst into angers at different point in time in our life. So here, what we're just trying to understand is that this one emotion is just not about expressing one's displeasure or getting angry. It's a culmination and it's a complex mix of lot many things that the person has been through, which actually led to this particular emotion. And this holds right for people, especially those who get angry very, very often. So next time you come across someone who you think has some anger management issues, you need to be extra kind to them. Yes, you heard it right. Be extra kind to them because these are kind of people who really are in need of kindness. And maybe there could be a lot where they've been wronged in their life that they have been through, is why today they stand so angry and they keep expressing that, channeling it through anger. Moving on, so let's spend another few minutes here where, before we understand how we manage this emotion, let's also get to know the cause of it. So what I would want you to do right now here is just grab a pen and a paper and just answer the simple coaching question that you see on your screen here, which is what happens when you get angry. So what I'm trying to tell you here is recollect any event or any past event or anything that has happened recently where you may have felt a bit frustrated, irritated, really angry, or maybe series of events, whatever it could be, which really brought a lot of anger inside you, and pen that down. So record your experience and your feelings. Write it down in as much detail as possible. So we're doing a step before we're trying to understand how we manage anger, because this particular step, while you record your experiences, when you recall an event when you were really, really angry, what this will assist you is that it will help you identify your triggers and patterns. Uh, One example that I could share here is of one of our coaching client who actually came to me for losing weight, and he was quite obese. But when he explained to me the many events in his life and a lot of experiences where he felt uh, having low self-worth, low self-esteem and confidence, and was very, very angry at everything that surrounded him, his own life, his relations, his friends. So he narrated one incident when he was with his friends and they were enjoying a party. But in the party that turned into a fight was because of someone cracked a joke about some kind of food. So not really getting into those details, but my friend who came to me for coaching, he actually was the one who reacted very, very sharply to it. Now, on the face of it, if you look at it, it's a simple get together that's happening and friends are having fun. And when we are with our friends, we do tend to crack jokes on a lot of things. But since this person was carrying a lot of baggage and had a low self worth, he thought everything was targeted at him. His deep inside beliefs were as if the whole team has ganged up and was joking about him. The whole jokes were indirectly towards him. He took it that way, and that triggered a lot of anger inside him. He expressed it by disagreeing to their points, that turned into an argument, that went into a fight, and later on, it really created a scene out there in the restaurant. So, just giving you this example to help you understand that there are times when we record our feelings or the events when we were really, really angry. Recording them will help you. It could be one event, two event, or five events, whatever they may be. Just record them, write them. This will help you understand what are your trigger points. And you will realize once you look at all the events, it could be two, three, five, that mostly the trigger points are the same. And it is everything that's within us, our own low self-worth, our own inferiority complexes, our baggages, our insecurities, our fears, our belief systems that lead for us to get angry or disagree to somebody's statements or points, and we express that in not disagreement but by expressing it in anger. And if we are in an authoritative state, like let's say you have your servant, we might just yell at them, or our children, or our spouse. So it's all about, the deep depth of these complex many reasons and the way we express it into one emotion, which is anger. So think of it and write, take as much time you want, and then record your feelings. Once you're done with that, now here we come to the main part of our session today. This is about the three simple steps we would use using time to control anger. Now, since we recorded that, we understood the cause of it. Now, this is just simple technique. There could be issues and areas in your life which may not really get solved even by these three steps. In that given case, I would recommend you hire a coach for yourself. Otherwise, for simple other things, I think these three simple steps should do the work. So The first step, as you see it on your screen, is that if you have an issue where you're really thinking that you are going to lose your temper on it, you're about to get angry, give yourself a break of 3 minutes. First 3 minutes, just don't look at it, whether it's an email or you're talking to somebody or somebody you're responding or you're looking at something, anything to break the intensity. The idea here, when we are using time, is the underlying idea to break the intensity. So you give it a 3 minute break and come back to that issue again. But even after 3 minutes, if you feel the intensity has not really died down, it's still there, and you would really going to lose your temper on it, then in that given case, come back to it after 3 hours. So for now, just keep it aside. Regardless of how important or key it is, keep it aside and come back, set a timer and say, okay, I'll look into it, but maybe after 3 hours. The third step is when both the methods are not working. There are at times issues where we don't get back to our core even after the 3 hours. Then keep this issue, give it a longer duration. Now, this 3 day duration is actually and absolutely going to kill the intensity, because 3 days is indeed a long time where if you do not think about that issue for the next 3 days and completely focus yourself on something else, your intensity of anger will come down dramatically, drastically, and then you could then come back to it and see to it how you think you should manage it. So whether it's an argument, whether it's an email, whether somebody irrational, whether somebody wronging you, try these techniques. Give it a 3 minute, 3 hour, or a 3 day, depending on the intensity of issue, and see to it that you will be in control of this emotion called anger. Now, this will save you a lot of time because you are here not just managing your anger, but managing your emotion in a very intelligent way. And instead of getting stressed or really burning out, you are managing the emotion and the issue in the most effective manner. So try this out. What happens next? Now, this one is about the same thing. It's what happens next is once you've used this 3 step method, if you like, do share it with me how you had experience killing the intensity and what results you've got out of it. So the core, the key theme behind this 3 step is that we are killing the intensity of the issue through time. And the one who gets these things done exactly in this manner, following the 3 steps, will find themselves making a very effective use of their emotion called anger. Moving on, here is another podcast also I had created on the same issue, how we manage anger, the often misunderstood emotion. So if in case you want to listen, you are one of those more than seeing, you like to listen to it, I will share this URL link in the description box. You can even listen to a podcast series that I have created on the same topic. Well, here now we come to close of the session. I hope you enjoyed spending learning and getting a bit of coached on this misunderstood emotion called anger. If you have any questions, feel free to write to me and I'll come back to you shortly with another interesting session where you learn along with your coach. Thank you.